Hi, it's Panda Movies here. Today I'm going to explain the horror movie called Deep Blue Sea. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. Enjoy the video. The story revolves around Susan McCallister and Jim Whitlock, doctors who are studying mako sharks at a secluded undersea facility to aid in the awakening of dormant human brain cells, such as those observed in Alzheimer's disease patients. Investors send businessman Russell Franklin to the facility to look into it, after one of the sharks escapes and tries to attack a boatload of teenagers. When Jim awakens in the lab, Susan and Jim test a particular protein complex that was extracted from the brain tissue of their largest shark, which bites off Jim's right arm. Lending Jim a hand, the tower's operator, Brenda Kerns, summons a helicopter to rescue him despite the rain and wind. However, as Jim is being lifted, the rope snags, plunging Jim and his stretcher into the shark pen. Brenda and the pilots are killed, and there are significant explosions that seriously harm the facility. Susan, Russell, Carter Blake, Janice Higgins, and Tom Scoggins, an engineer, all present in the lab as the shark strikes the stretcher into the main window, shattering it, drowning Jim and flooding the place. The party heads to the wet entry of the building with the intention of escaping via submarine. Susan admits to the others that she and Jim genetically altered the sharks to make their brains bigger because their size prevented them from harvesting enough of the protein complex, and this also made them smarter and more lethal. The group finds that the submarine has been damaged as they get to the damp entry. While delivering a monologue emphasizing the need for group unity, Russell is dragged into the submersible pool by one of the sharks and devoured. The surviving team decides to ascend the elevator shaft despite the potential for the pool to become unstable. When the ladder breaks during their ascent due to strong earthquakes, Janice loses her footing and plunges into the shark-infested ocean. Carter tries to save Janice, but one of the two sharks that are still present drags her underneath and kills and eats her. Cook Sherman, Preacher Dudley, whose parrot is devoured in the process, manages to kill the first shark with an explosion in the partially flooded kitchen of the facility. He then proceeds to the elevator shaft where he runs into Susan, Tom, and Carter. While Susan goes to her room to get her research supplies, Carter and Tom proceed to the submerged laboratory to turn on a switch that drains a stairway to the surface. When Carter and Tom get to the control panel, the biggest shark charges in, devouring Tom whole and destroying the controls. Susan runs into another shark in the other room, electrocutes it with a power cord, and in the process, destroys her research. Carter, Susan, and Preacher reunite and then swim to the surface from a decompression chamber. Preacher is seized by the final shark, but is set free when he uses his cross to stab it in the eye, escaping with only leg damage. Susan cuts her hand on purpose and jumps into the water in an effort to divert the shark from swimming away to open water. Despite Carter's best efforts to save her, she is unable to escape the sea and is devoured even though she is able to divert the shark with her blood. Carter grasps the shark's dorsal fin as Preacher uses a harpoon to shoot it, while also piercing Carter's thigh. Carter gives Preacher the instruction to attach the trailing wire to a battery as the shark breaches the barrier. This will cause an electric current to flow over the wire and to an explosive charge in the harpoon, killing the shark. In the end, Carter says he was able to escape just in time, and joins Preacher to see a worker's boat approaching on the horizon.